Hello, I'm Dr. Ron Eglett, and I'm going to take you through the basics of looping in Python. And we're going to do this two different ways. I'm going to do two different kinds of loops. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a new collab here. And in this collab, I'm just going to start generating. Well, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to show looping through an array. So we're going to create an array, and it's going to be really simple. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Now, I'm going to create a loop where I'm going to loop through that array. So for, I can do this, for I in A, print I. That's it. That's actually all I want to do. Okay, if I do that, what it's going to do is it's going to loop through the array, okay, and it's going to, when it says for I in A, what it's going to do is I is going to go and become the first element of the array, okay? The array has 3 elements, so I becomes 1, it prints the 1. I becomes 2, it prints the 2. I becomes 3, it prints the 3. That's it. I iterates through the array. It becomes each of the elements in the array. It loops through it. All right, well, let's do something. Let's go one step further. Let's create a second array. I'm going to call this array B, and I'm going to go 4, 5, 6. Just going to make it 3 other elements. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop inside of the array, okay? And it actually says, you know what? I want to go ahead and I want to print. And here I'd actually like to say I equals, oops, minus equals. I don't want minus equals. I want I equals, and I also want J equals. And then I can close the parentheses because I actually want to be able to see what those elements are. Okay, there. And I don't need to print the I out anymore. I do have my indentations a little bit off, but what it should do is it should, as it goes through the I, it should go I equals 1, 2, and 3. But it's also going to go through the J, which is in B also. So let's actually just look at the output here, and so you can see what's actually going to happen as we go through and do this. Takes a little second to do that, but notice, okay, so I is equal to 1. It's in the inner loop. It then does the second, it's in the outer loop. I'm sorry, that's the outer loop. And then it does the inner loop. 1, 2, well, in this case, 4, 5, and 6. So you got I equals 1, J is 4. I is 1, J is 5. I is 1, J is 6. It then goes to the second iteration in the outer loop. So it does the first iteration in the outer loop, all the iterations in the inner loop. All right, well, that's really cool, fine and dandy. Let's do this a different way, okay? And this is why I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this again with the 4, but I'm going to go for I in, and we're going to add another keyword in here, range, okay? And we're going to go from range 0 to len of A. Now, first time through this, I'm going to show you we should be able to get an error. I'm going to print, okay, I'm going to print I, which should be 0, 1, and 2. And then I'm going to print A of I. Okay, this is now probably starting to look pretty confusing to you, but it is not confusing. I is going to go through, and it's going to start at 0, and it's going to continue till it gets to the length of A. Well, the length of A is 3. Now, I'm going to get rid of this first one because I really don't want to execute this over and over again because it's just going to show over and over again. But now let's run this. Okay, what's going to happen? Okay, it goes to 0, okay, and then it prints the 0, and then it prints A of I. Well, A of I is A of 0. And A of 0, as you can see, is 1. Remember, arrays start at index 0. Then it goes to I equal to the next number in the range. So the next number in the range is 1. So it prints out I, which is 1, and A of I, which is, by the way, this case, 2. And then it goes to the third one, which is the length of A. And I could have done this. One of the things I could do here is, because you haven't actually seen length of A, that's a nice little thing for you to know, is how to get the the length of an array. Just to show you that the length of the array is 3. So it goes 0, which is 1, 2, and 3. Now, if I had started at 1 and gone there, I would have missed the first element of the actual array. So, okay, no, gotta watch out for that. Anyway, there you go. Now, that is some of the basics of looping. But let me kind of iterate here. Now, iterate. Haha. Let me go ahead and point out a few things about this. Okay. Now let's just put in. Let's change a and let's make a equal to. Oh, you know what? Let's do something really fun here. Okay. A, B, C. It's actually kind of funny how it just decides that if I did A and B that I'm going to want C, and it should be a comma. Notice it's pretty good about doing this. So if I now run this, the B doesn't do anything right here. But now as you can see, it's 0, prints out the first element, 1, second element, third element. Well, if I go back to it being 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, let's do something a little bit different here. Let's add in here C is equal to A of I plus B of I. Well, that'll work. We'll do A of I plus B of I, and let's print out C. Notice I'm going to do an equation in here. So now if I run this, what's that going to do? Well, oh no, let's take out the print line out because that's just going to confuse it. Okay, so here we go. What did it do? Well, 0, I starts at 0. Element A of 0 is 1. Element A of B of 0 is 4. 1 plus 4 is 5. 2 plus 5, 7. 3 plus 6, 9. Notice I can do equations in here, and now you should be starting to see the power of being able to do these types of loops. Now, reviewing, just so you remember, if you have not watched the video lecture, I think it's lecture 0-3 on arrays, you need to go back and watch it because this might not have made any sense to you at all, but it'll make perfect sense if you've done that because it's really not that hard. Okay. I often run, it's like, oh, I can't understand what you're saying because you didn't watch the video that comes before the video that you did here. Okay. A of 0. If I wanted to print A of 0, we're just going to print it here. Whoops. Print A of 0. Everybody in this class should know, or that's watching this should know that A of 0 is 1. Okay, and the I takes on the value of 0, then A of I is A of 0, and that is a value of 1. Okay. Remember, the last module had you doing a lot of really crazy stuff with dealing with arrays and complex partitions of arrays. This one doesn't do that, but it's very easy to keep track of values in arrays. Like suppose I want to say, I want to calculate what different things will be at interest rates, let's say 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I want to do a calculation at all those different interest rates. Well, I simply put the values into the array, and then I iterate, do the calculation, and output the results. Pretty straightforward stuff. Okay. As far as what you need to know as far as iterations, for the I in range and I in the actual array works beautifully. You know those two, you can pretty much do anything. That's it. Underneath 10 minutes, all there.